thumbnail, and I want to talk about why the internet was wrong again. And I want to talk about the things surrounding that. So we'll get to that in a minute. Before we get started, make sure you check out patreon.com/DylanTalksTone, as well as the join member folks down there. You hit the join button. That's how you get your questions answered ahead of time, or at least on the screen. That's how you guarantee your spot. You could use a super chat if you want, or put a bunch of question marks in front of it, and Leslie will try to find those questions as well. Please use all the links in the description, because those are affiliate links and they help out the channel a little bit. That supports those businesses that support us, as well as Dylan Talks Tone. Go there and buy pickups, because that's what we do. I've been mentioning to please check and see if you are subscribed, because a lot of people have been telling me that they checked when I asked them to, and they were not. Like, they used to be, and somehow they were not anymore. So if you would do that, that would be awesome. So yeah. We're doing guitar question stuff. And then we'll have an off-topic hour here in a little while, after the guitar questions have been answered. We are late because we're not late. We were on time, but I was watching Texas Toast video almost all the way up until go time again. So they had some pretty good questions and subjects going tonight. All about opinions. Matt's opinions.
How are those questions?
Well, and then they were talking about some other stuff that were pretty interesting too. Well, I guess we could get into some Patreon questions. Let's do it.
Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Dylan and Leslie. I only have a comment tonight. I just ordered a few sets of strings to try from Stringer Joy, since you have talked about them being your favorite. I'll see how they sound. Thanks.
I needed to order some more today, and I forgot. So I will try to remember to order some more tomorrow. Yeah, I'm out of electric strings. I have some acoustic strings left, but I'm out of electric. But I need to get more acoustic strings, because I want to do like a acoustic shootout, and all my acoustics need new strings.
Yeah, Robert Olin said the unsubscribe thing is real, happens to me all the time. D-Mac says just checked and I was unsubscribed. Weird, resubscribed.
Thanks, guys.
Eric Luddinger said my notifications have been turned off for you and Texas Toast. Had to check it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That is wild. All right, Zoltan. Hey, Dylan and Leslie. If you need to fly with a guitar, what's your safest way to do it?
That's a good question. He's actually on a plane right now, I believe.
Did he take a guitar?
He did.
Oh, well then he already knows.
I don't know
Or
how
does he
he's
not
doing
feel
it.
safe?
I don't know how he's doing it. What I do is I use a quality gig bag. So I usually, if I'm going to fly, I'll use my mono gig bag. And what I typically do is I will pay the extra for, because in the United States, the rule is that if you have a musical instrument that you can carry it on. It's a FAA thing. There's a whole thing about it. Some airlines are a little dumb about it, but what you do is, because it's let's say it's subject to space. So what I typically do is I will pay for whatever early boarding you can get on that flight, so that you can get on the plane first, and then ask to put it in the closet. And usually that works. That typically works. I haven't flown with a guitar in a few years, but that's usually what I do. But a quality gig bag, because they're smaller. Hard shell cases make 0 sense in an airport.
Vincent. Dylan, been enjoying your Thruxtons this week and just thought of something really nerdy. Since your lineup now has center punches and CP8s, have you considered making an Alnico 2 version of your center punches? If so, how would those sound? Thanks.
So I've thought about it, but I'm actually thinking about dropping the center punch 8s. And I'll tell you why. I like having a simpler model lineup because people will call me. It happened today. Somebody asked me, I want such and such a pickup, but I would rather have it in with this other magnet because these are the results that I want. Well, I know that they won't get those results with that magnet. So I would rather not put option paralysis into our product line. Because, let's face it, 99% of consumers do not know the difference. I mean, it's just kind of how it is. It's the 90-10-5 rule that 90% of the money that we spend on our hobbies is to get the last 10% of performance out of something that only 5% of people will ever get. So there's no, or be able to fully exploit. So there's no real point in me making the stuff overcomplicated because it will just make our customer service situation crazy. And it won't give people, what I've found is if you pigeonhole a product too far, then when they don't get what they think they should get because this product is so specific, then they have a higher dissatisfaction rate, when in reality, if we were to just give them what we already made, they would love it. So, I just think it's just kind of a thing. It's human nature. So that's why I don't do it.
Tim, why is it that so many look to copy tone and sound of others and don't speak of development of their own sound?
I used to be a real hard ass about this, and I'm less so these days because you got to get inspired by something. So I think people get inspired by their heroes, and they want to sound like them. And they want to play along with the radio. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to play along with whatever song was on the radio and try to sound like that, So I think that's why. I see your point, because I agree. We just had a whole conversation about this earlier this week about whatever sound the guitar makes, figure out what you can do with it instead of trying to sound like somebody else. So I think there's two sides to it. I think you got to be inspired by something, but I do think you need to find your own sound for sure.
But at what point is, like, if it's music you like and that's what you desire to play, like...
Yeah, and I guess it depends what the goal is, right?
Yeah.
Like, we have a friend who kind of sucks at improvisation, actually. And he spends a lot of money on guitars to get specific sounds for each. And he plays in these cover bands, but they're like high-end cover bands to where when he does an Allman Brothers song, the band literally sounds like the Allman Brothers when they're doing it. So he plays a burst through whatever amp, and he like really gets there. So if that's your goal, then I guess that makes sense. I think for most people, what were you gonna say?
I was curious. Like,
I guess it depends on the goal of what you're playing is.
Understand why it has to be one or the other.
I don't think it does. That's what I'm saying. I think you could go either way with it.
Like, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, I think you have to start somewhere.
Then creates. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not a musician either. Super chat from Trozinator. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, Dylan and Leslie. Hope all is good. Just wondering if your bridge Firebird pickup would fit a Gibson-style mini humbucker pickup ring. Is it good for punk?
Yes.
Thank you guys for everything you do.
Thank you for the super chat, Trozinator, first of all. Second of all, there are 3 different kinds of mounts that I can think of off the top of my head for mini humbuckers. The Firebird style, where it has like a hard ring and bolts to the guitar and then it comes up. There's also the Les Paul style that has a plastic ring around the pickup, but the plastic ring looks like a P90. And then there's like an SG style that also has a plastic ring around it, but it's a different plastic ring. If there's wood behind the plastic ring... Oh, wait. Hang on. We're going backwards. Somebody asked me the other day if our P90s would go where a mini humbucker is. You're asking the opposite question. Yes, it will fit in a Gibson mini humbucker route. End of story.
And the pickup ring?
Yes, if you're retrofitting, if you're taking P90s out and putting Firebird or mini humbuckers in, you have to get the StewMac adapter ring for it. But if you already have mini humbuckers like in a deluxe, then they should just drop right in.
Cool.
And the punk question is, heck yes.
I think I already got that. Did we already do 3? Oh.
Yeah, I think so.
Just flying through. Patrick, Dylan, in your view, do you think a Pleck job from Sweetwater is a good idea on my new PRS guitar I'm still waiting on? Or should I have them probably just do a setup on it?
That's a good question. If it's a PRS, so the Pleck job is $299 and it includes a setup. So I don't know if you knew that, but it's all included. I think a setup by itself is $75 or $99. Is that right? I think that a PRS probably doesn't need a Pleck job. That is my guess. If it was a Fender, I would say absolutely. If it was a Gibson, I would say no. If it was an Epiphone, I would say yes. But probably a PRS, probably not. Their fretwork is really good. If it was mine, I would not. Because I do my own fretwork, I probably would never. But for somebody who doesn't do fretwork, the guitars that typically need fretwork are Epiphones, Fenders, Squiers, Fender, like Mexican Fenders. The American stuff's been really good, but the Mexico Fenders have been needing some fretwork. And the Squiers for sure. Yeah, there you go. But I wouldn't for a PRS. It's an interesting one. Nobody's ever asked that before.
All right. You seemingly have a topic because people are commenting. Do we want to take their comments first and then you can talk more?
Yeah, let's take some comments. Sure.
Okay. Marcia Murray says, no, the interwebs can't be wrong.
Exactly.
Rusty Shackelford says, I don't know who's wrong or what they're wrong about, but I don't care how many of those things sold. That's one ugly guitar. I don't know what this, Shatev, I don't know. And then it says 0 FCKS. It's a guitar. Miles who? And then he also said, the interzones. How dare you? Someone or something get offered? Maybe get offended? I don't know.
So.
No, you can't to start yet.
Oh, okay.
Dog Boy, but come on. Miles Kennedy, $3,000 with tax. Ugly and overpriced. Hawkman Hawk says, I like all guitars somewhat. Just some I love, but not loving this one by sight alone. Maybe if I played one, LOL. James Dean Anderson. Personally, I was thrilled to see Miles Kennedy get a signature PRS, but it frankly does seem more advanced than a Tele, while maybe missing some of the nostalgia. And I think that covers the things I didn't know what they were talking about.
Excellent. And I think did we have a super chat pop in there?
Yeah. Let's go here and do it this way. James Dean Anderson, thank you for the super chat.
That's an awesome name.
Looking for a good pairing of single coil neck Gilmore, slightly overwound, and humbucker bridge / slightly overwound for my upcoming guitar brand.
Oh, so for that, I would do a Hot 5 and a Super 8. Or if you want slashy / you could use one of our Thruxtons, because that's 8.4K Alnico 2, and it's available in a Zebra, just like Slash. I kind of based it on a Slash pickup. So, let's talk about the internet being wrong. And I'm glad we read the comments first, because it proves my point completely. Okay. It came out earlier this week that the Miles Kennedy PRS Tele looking thing has become PRS's #1 selling guitar.
Wow.
Over the Silver Sky.
Wow.
And it's only been out for like 4 months. So, all those people who said they did not like this guitar
Are in the minority.
are in the minority, because that guitar is selling like crazy. Granted, they cannot make thousands of them. So, you know what I mean? It's not like it's not like there's 100,000 of them and they've all sold in 4 months. But I think they make like 250 or 300 guitars a month or so in the American factory. So, in Maryland. So, they are selling more of them than Silver Skies. That's really amazing to me. When I posted about this yesterday on my Facebook page, if you're not following me on Facebook or on Instagram or on Twitter, you definitely should. Although if you don't like guns, don't follow me on Twitter. I got a bunch of comments, and there was a few in particular who were like, I'm tired of the stuff that looks the same.
Okay.
And it kind of looks like a Tele, but it's not really. So, I guess my question is, and this is why the internet, like, it's almost like, first of all, let's talk about the fact that the guitar companies obviously know more about guitars than these comment sections on internet stuff. And the comment sections on the internet stuff are the minority. I think that's something we forget when we make comments, like, and we express our opinion, which we want to do here because that's what this is for. Like, we're all hanging out and talking. But we are the minority because most of the people that are actually spending money on this stuff aren't commenting. We find that with our business too. Most of the customers that we have are not in the comment section of any of our videos. Some of them are, most of them aren't. So the next question is, if not that guitar, then what? Because what they did was they took a classic design and they made it different. And they tweaked it to where it's not a Tele. It's not a Tele. It's not a PRS Tele. I would say that it is less a PRS Tele than the Silver Sky is a PRS Strat. And I don't personally, after owning, this is my 4th one, think that they are very Stratty. They feel really different. They don't feel like a Strat at all. But people, for the purpose of conversation, let's just say that.
Dog Boy, thank you for the super chat. He says, one man's beef is another man's pork.
Yeah, exactly. And neither of those are bad to some person. But my question is, for everybody who said, I don't like this guitar, then what do you want? Because I'm about to do a review tomorrow. You're going to see a review tomorrow on a guitar that is an evolution of other guitars. And there are going to be people in the comments who be like, that shape is dumb, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, so this whole comment section is like, we want something different. And then this whole comment section is like, but not that. So I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. And what's interesting is the guitar companies are building the guitars that people are buying. One of the things that we get when we do Gibson videos is people are like, they're just leaning on the stuff that they've always done for 100 years. Yes, that's what a legacy brand does, right? When you buy Levi jeans, you buy 501s or 550s or 505s. End of story. Like, that's what they are for. They might have some other wacky stuff, but really the reason you buy Levi's... Oh, by the way, the person that did that, the CEO of Gibson. Anyway. So you go to... Because I've talked to Fender people a lot about this. Fender people are like, we are Fender, we're going to make Fender. We're going to make things that are going to be all the same all the time. And they're going to be a little bit different, but they're going to be all the same all the time because this is Fender. This is what we do. When you want a Strat or a Tele, you go to Fender. Never mind all the copies and whatever. That's a whole nother thing. Same thing with Gibson. PRS doesn't do that. PRS is like, no, we're going to evolve the brand. They are the brand evolving to a different thing kind of company. If you want a Strat, go buy a Strat. If you want a Tele, go buy a Tele. If you want a Les Paul, go buy a Les Paul or a Harley Benton or whatever you think looks like a Les Paul. But let each of the brands be themselves and be glad that companies are keeping to their legacies. I think it's important that they do.
Super chat from Dog Boy again. Thank you again for the super chat. He says, I don't like Flying V's or Explorers, but they sell.
Right.
Yeah. And I think, like you just said, we were talking about like folks being in the minority. I saw a comment. I don't know. It was like, I don't have to like everything that comes out. I can still think it's ugly. Absolutely.
Duh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't like everything out there. Just
no, me either. No.
Let's see.
And not everything that every brand does is cool. That doesn't matter, right? Hyundai's got that really cool looking electric car that like looks like a spaceship, but then they have this other one that looks like a melted blob that looks stupid. Like, so there's a hit and there's a miss, but somebody else loves it because they're buying them, and they're on back order. When a company is on back order with a product, then no internet comment section matters. You know, like, as long as I have a 3-week backlog on work, I don't care. Because I know that there's enough people out there that love what we do. And every company is going to be like that. So I think it's really neat. Yep.
I feel like the point may be being missed. So Raphael B says, wait a minute. Wasn't the subject last week or 2 ago that you can like and dislike what you want without being wrong and that it's okay? Is that not the case?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I feel like they're saying that you're saying something different today, but I don't think you are.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, like what you want, 100%. But when the prevailing impression on the internet is that this guitar is crap and nobody's going to buy it, it's wrong. I'm not saying you are wrong for liking the guitar
Or not liking
or not liking it. I'm saying that what everybody thinks is going to happen in the comments, and everybody.
Yeah.
So here's what happens. This is what happens. Because this has happened to me. I've seen it happen with our stuff. I'll make a video about something, and people will comment in that section, or they will say, well, Gibson will never sell any of those. Or such and such a brand will never sell any of those because they're crap. And there will be 100 people that'll say that in the comments. And then that sort of mushrooms into its own little subculture of the guitar community. And then there will be, I don't know why this brand gets so much hate or whatever. Meanwhile, that particular product is sold out for 6 months. So, that comment section is wrong. But I know for sure that there are a lot of people that don't like that guitar because they think it's too expensive, because they think it's overpriced, because they think Miles Kennedy doesn't deserve whatever. The bottom line is the guitar is selling out. End of story. So all the people that think that are not wrong for thinking that, but they are wrong. That conclusion or that assumption is wrong. That Miles Kennedy can't sell guitars because he's selling some guitars. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, think whatever you want. I mean, I'm not gonna buy one. Everybody has asked me if I'm gonna buy one because I love my Silver Sky so much. Well, why wouldn't you get the Tele one? And I'm just like, I don't. It doesn't grab me. I think it's pretty. The shape's kind of funky. But there's another guitar that I would rather have instead of that. Which I did buy. And it will be here in a few weeks. So, which is another evolution on a Tele / humbucker / single coil / thing. So I bought another one in that vein, but from a different company and something that I'm really passionate about. So it's a matter of kind of doing the same thing, but different. Yeah.
You want to hear some chatter?
Yeah, let's do it. This is fun.
All right, I'm just going to scroll back to the beginning.
Okay.
So it'll be all out of order, and I don't know.
Who cares?
IBJI says, I find it weird that you can't make guitar picks from turtle shell anymore, but you can make all the dog ear P90s you want.
That's right. That's really funny.
Dan Andradas says, Dylan, thanks. I'm really liking your P90s I put in my TTG build.
Excellent. Here, let me flip my knife at you.
Oh, did you tell that story?
No, I didn't.
Is that an after hours
That
story?
might be an after hours comment story.
Cool.
Speaking of people who are funny in the comments.
Hi, Dan. That's another one I've met.
Yeah.
Isn't that who I sat beside at the show?
It is.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I thought so. Rusty Shackelford said, String Joy are the bomb. Just wish they did coated on custom gauges.
Yeah.
It's Victoria G. I have a $150 Ibanez Geo Micro BC.
Yeah.
I love short scales. Would like to replace the stock humbuckers. I'm not a high-gain D-gent gal. Would the DAFs be the best bet for me?
Yes, absolutely, and that would be cool. That would be very cool.
Red Fury Dubstep. Ever tried a Floyd Rose FRX? Floyd for Gibson-style bridges, no routing required. Thinking about getting one for one of my Firebirds since I love a good Floyd Rose.
They're very cool. I have not done one on the channel. I have not bought one myself. But when they came out, I actually met with Floyd Rose and was able to, with their main distributor people, and was able to spend some time with one. And it is very cool. I think it's expensive, but if you really like Floyd Roses and you don't want to cut your guitar up, that's the way to go. They're really neat. It's a really interesting piece, right? And it works. It really does work.
I apologize. I must have missed this one.
Okay.
Van Shank Guitars, thank you for the super chat. Sorry that it's delayed. And when you design something completely different, they don't want that either.
It's totally true.
Yeah.
It's totally true. You have to stay familiar, which I think PRS did. They stayed familiar with the shape, but made it more PRS-y.
Super chat from Dog Boy. Thank you for the super chat.
Thanks, dog boy. Sorry.
Wow. PRS brand and quality is selling those guitars, not Miles. Who? Kennedy. We're all looking for works of art that sound good and play great. Yeah, and I mean, this goes back, like, when we talked about signature models, right? Like, you don't have to know who Miles Kennedy is. Like, do you like the guitar?
Exactly.
I know who Miles Kennedy is, but I didn't know he played guitar.
Yeah.
I only know his voice.
He's really good. Apparently, Slash takes lessons from him.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that from other people that I know that know Miles.
I thought he was just a singer. Mm-mm. Obviously, haven't got to see him yet. Since I didn't know that.
We've seen them.
No, I've not seen Miles Kennedy.
We've seen Alter Bridge.
I don't know that to be true either.
We saw Alter Bridge with Avenged Sevenfold.
Did it rain? Did we see them?
Yeah. The year before.
I don't remember them.
Yeah. It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. But we've seen Alter Bridge. Because I've seen Mark Tremonti. And I know about Miles Kennedy.
Vox Guitars Rock Miles Kennedy is a great singer. I had no idea who he was till he joined Slash.
Yeah, so I knew Miles Kennedy played guitar and hung out with Slash before he was with Slash from somebody I knew because of Alter Bridge. Guitar tech wise.
Gotcha. Super chat from James Dean Anderson. Thank you for the super chat, James. He says, Fender's already Fender, so I designed my own style of body and headstock, then some new features. PRS did his own thing until he was big enough to do innovative versions of classics. Innovation is easier than adoption.
That's interesting. That is an interesting take. I will have to think about that phrase. But I applaud you for doing that because, and if you can make a living at it, then that's pretty cool.
All right. So
That's
let's
the
pop
trick.
back over here.
That is the trick. And thank you for the super chat.
Hogman Hog says, I love my center punch 8.
Good, I'm glad.
Curtis Chavez, when is the internet not wrong? DC Robinson, I think this is a question.
Okay.
Or a statement. I don't know. You make bass pickups. That is a statement, but maybe he meant it as a question.
That is a true statement.
Cool. Mr. Goat, best guitar player I know can mimic anyone, but does not have his own voice.
Yeah, I know a lot of guitar players like that. But maybe that's what they like doing because there is challenge in that.
I was going to say, that's a skill in itself.
Yes, there is challenge in that. I mean, we have a friend who you could tell him, you could sit here right now with him. He's been in my videos before too. He did our pick shootout with us. And he's like a human jukebox. You can be like, play this Dire Straits song, and he'll play it. And play this Yngwie song, he'll play it. He knows every song, and it's like, and he sounds like the people too, which is crazy. I don't know how he does it, but it's a skill, and he's making a living with it, so you can't knock it.
Yep. It's Victoria G said, there's a fine line between wanting to emulate your Guitar Hero's tone and obsessing over it and spending $450 on a strap to exactly match Brian May. Money that should have been spent on a metronome.
Wait. Okay, I didn't spend that much money on my Slash strap, but I feel that a little.
But he's also not your Guitar Hero.
No. He is... I do look up to him a lot, though. Not just because of the guitar stuff. Because of his entire story. I just really...
Stealing a hat. That's what inspired you.
Yeah, stealing a hat. His substance abuse journey. The way he is a businessman. Like, he knows what he's doing. You know.
And he should never take his glasses
off. I just think he's one of those people, oh, Slash is so overrated. Like, you hear that, and I'm like... just like this other person who designed a guitar, maybe I won't like his guitar. I don't know. Maybe it's cool. I have no idea. All I know is if you went to the trouble to do something and now you can make a living with it and it's doing the thing that you wanted to do, then I can't knock that. Like, Slash has more money than me and he did it playing guitar. So he is not overrated.
Don't judge Slash by Axl Rose.
Exactly.
All right. Curtis Chavez. I tried a Sonic Mustang. The guitar played great. I wanted a higher end guitar, but this Sonic Stang was an eye opener. Am I setting? Should I look at a settling? Should I look at a CV Stang instead? DTTs for the win.
It just depends what you're going to use the guitar for. Because those are cool, man. You're probably going to replace the tuners. You're probably going to replace the pickups in it. You're probably going to mess around with it. So just make a value decision yourself. There are many reasons to like a inexpensive guitar. So don't stress about that. Just if you like it, buy it. It's $200, right? So I don't know what your budget is or how much expendable. You have to think about all that for yourself. So nobody can make that decision for you. You will get a nicer guitar with the CV, but it depends what you're going to use it for, and it depends how much modding you want to do and playing around and learning too. So.
It's Victoria G said the way he just quit smoking cold turkey when he had pneumonia and couldn't get out of bed, and then when he was able to smoke again, he realized, hey, I made it over the hump. We love Slash.
Yep. Yeah, we like Slash too.
Tim Ziegler, I missed his comment. He commented on the guitar we're talking about. He said, I got to play one and it's worth the $3,000.
Oh, I have no doubt that it's worth the money.
And Mr. Goat said, I would play that PRS faux show.
Yeah.
Let's see where we're at here. I feel like I just saw something.
There are very few guitars by reputable brands in the $3,000 range that aren't worth the money.
Super chat from Dog Boy. He says, thank you for the super chat. I apologize. He says, I recommend you guys read Slash's autobiography. Wow. I didn't know he had one.
I will read it. I will listen to it on an audiobook.
Oh, I wonder if he narrates.
Oh, if he narrates his own audiobook?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I like it when the authors narrate their own
Same.
books. It's way better.
Agreed. Although, the guy that does
if Prince Harry could do it, why can't anybody else?
If the guy that does... Is it Ray Kurzweil? No, it's not Ray Kurzweil. If the guy that does all of the Jack Carr books narrated every book, I would be totally stoked.
I would be out.
I love his voice.
I don't even like when you're like, I'm in the middle of this book and you've listened to it in the car or something. I'm like, oh. He has like no fluctuation. Like even when
he does all the voices and everything.
But it's weird. It's
weird. I love it.
No.
He's like one of my favorites, man.
It's weird. Oh, Rick Nelson said, I got Slash's book. Great read.
I'm gonna check it out.
Haas said, unless it's Stephen King. You're probably right.
That
I don't know if I'd want to listen to
be
Stephen
weird.
King either. Ray Porter, Justin Haskell
Ray Porter.
says.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yep, Ray Porter. That's right.
All right, let's get back to it here. Off topic. Paul McNary said, I love that finish so much that I finished my telly build with that trans white thin showing the grain. They stole my work.
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Curtis Chavez says, wow, I never would have guessed that the Miles PRS was going to be that big. I had no opinion on them because they were out of my price range, but I'm intrigued.
Mm-hmm. That's what happened to me with the Silver Sky. Like, I did not care about that guitar. I'm like, why is this thing so good? And why does everybody, what's the hype about it? And I went and played one, and I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it.
Joe Coach says there's also a documentary by Duff out called It's So Easy and Other Lies.
Oh, really?
That's probably good.
That's probably good, too. Yeah.
Inside scoop.
Thank you.
Sunbay says, it didn't surprise me that the Miles outsold the Silver Sky. It's new and a good guitar, but it won't be their best-selling guitar in 10 years because they will have new models by then.
I hope so. Yeah.
Curtis Chavez, call me a weirdo, but I want a fish-shaped melody maker and a single P90.
That's awesome.
Rick Nelson says, for the record, I've been reading your dad's book. It's stuff I already know, but I want to go back to basics and work on my chops. Does he have any more material out there?
I don't think so at this time.
Is he still in school? Is he still doing that? Do you know?
Yeah. So my dad's 74 now, and he 2 years ago decided, I'm going to go to the Berklee School of Music. And so he, like at 72 years old, was like, I've been doing this all my life, and there's still more stuff to learn. And he has, went to Berklee.
And played out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, learned a bunch of stuff that he didn't know, and really neat.
Sir Sneaker Pimp said, I think it's the same issue that GNL had with their telly design when it was new. No one seemed to like it, but it's a great guitar. DC Robinson, do you make soap bar bass pickups?
We do not.
Okay. He said, if so, I might have to get some from you soon as I buy my Ibanez EHB1005MS. Why do they have names like that?
Ibanez is like that. They literally,
So you do make bass
We do.
pickups, not soap bar.
Correct.
I think it was DC Robinson asked about bass pickups too. The general question. Styrene builds. Remember the meltdown with the Firebird X?
I do. That was a Gibson management problem. Yep.
Rusty Shackelford says, on my recent trip to the aquarium, I realized how good the Batfish name for your guitar is. Well done.
So you understood what a batfish is. They're neat, huh? That is why I call it that. Because it's what's interesting about the bat. So what a batfish is it's a fish, but it looks like a bunch of pieces of something else put together. It's like if a platypus was a fish. Like where you're like, wait a minute, this end of it looks like this, but this end of it looks like this, and it looks like this weird thing. And that's where the name for the batfish came from.
That is funny.
Yep.
I don't know, DB Pawn 69. Let's just go with that. New Jazzmaster. Got a Squire CV70s JM in Lake Placid Blue.
Sweet.
For 403 Canadian. Gotta save up for your P90s now.
Yeah, that's cool. We actually make a P90 that will drop into a Jazzmaster. We make Jazzmaster pickups that are not, those aren't P90s. But we do make a P90 that drops into a Jazzmaster. That would be super fun.
I don't know the context of this, so I'm just going to read it. Hawkman Hawk says, I didn't think anyone was making trans trims anymore. That's one word. Trans trim. Trans.
I don't know what that
trims.
is.
Okay. And it could have been a conversation I missed because sometimes when they're talking about stuff, I don't know what they're talking about. But it was with a question mark, so I was like, maybe it's for you. I don't know what it means. Sorry about that. Hawkman Hawks. Vox Guitars Rock says, the bottom line to it, I think, is it a good guitar?
That's what I think.
Seems fair. Gary Simmons says, I don't even know who Miles Kennedy is.
He's got one of the best voices in rock and roll. I would say, here's what I will say. I think, this might be a hot take for some of you who have a hard time with modern stuff, but I think Miles Kennedy is the Paul Rogers of now. Paul Rogers was Bad Company.
Okay, thank you. I was like, I don't know who Paul Rogers is.
I think he is the Paul Rogers of now. His voice.
You like Bad Company?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. His voice is unbelievable. He has one of the best rock and roll voices of all time. And their guitar parts were very well thought out. They weren't like, it wasn't shreddy, amazing, solo-y kind of stuff. But especially because I am and have always been a rhythm player. And so their rhythms are really tight. And they were just always really good about that stuff. And Paul Rogers' voice is amazing. But I think Miles Kennedy is kind of that now. He just has this very powerful male rock voice that is kind of like that. Yep.
Patrick Hardy says, on your Firebird pickups, could you make them in a nickel-plated cover, dog ear P90? No,
they have to. They are a nickel-plated.
Or maybe he's asking also a dog ear P90. I don't know.
They are a nickel-plated cover, but they are a mini humbucker Firebird footprint.
Okay, and we have two comments on Haas says trans trim was an EVH thing, right? And Fretless Ed said trans trim was a Steinberger thing. So
I don't know if anybody's making those anymore. Now that I know what you're talking about, and no, I don't know that anybody's making them.
Dog Boy talking about Miles Kennedy. He said his voice, yes. His writing, no.
Fair point. Fair point. Fair point.
Super chat from Sunbase. Thank you for the super chat. He says, hey, Dylan, do you find it more difficult coming up with a new pickup model to match a desired sound, or more difficult to maintain the consistency making the same pickup over and over?
So the consistency is just practice. They say that you're supposed to do 10,000 hours of something and be good at it, and we've made, 11,000 pickups or 12,000 pickups or something. So we've spent the time to be consistent. Designing a new pickup is interesting because I don't design stuff that to get a certain sound very often. Most of the time I'll be like, I want to try this. If it's good, then I make it. And there are very few times where I will do that because the internet told me to. You should make this. Because you should make this means no one will buy it. Because everyone says, I want X or Y, and then no money actually hits the bank when stuff comes out. So typically the way I do it is instead of trying to play to a market, I will do something that I really like, and then I will share it with you, and just kind of build the market if it's not already there and make a spot for it, which is slower, but it works better for me.
Alexander Goda Blake. Have you done Jazzmaster sized humbuckers?
We have, but I didn't. I actually put one in one of my dad's guitars. But I didn't like how it mounted, and so I stopped doing it.
Super chat from Van Shank Guitars. Thank you for the super chat, Ivan. He said, just to mention, we lost Miles Goodwin last weekend, lead singer of April Wine.
Next time we hang out, I'm not going to tell the story here. My dad and April Wine. I will tell you that story the next time we hang out on Patreon at the end of the month. Remind me, Ivan, because I will forget. He will not forget because April Wine is a Canadian band, and they are phenomenally good. Were, they were just 70s,
So Patrick Hardy says Soundgarden had one of the best singers. And then
Duh.
Bud Legit 88 says, as far as voices go, it's Chris Cornell for me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. But Chris Cornell is not the same vocal quality though. I don't mean good or bad quality. I just mean his range and sound is much different. Was powerful, but he had a different quality to his voice that to me, Miles Kennedy is just power. Like he is just, and Paul Rodgers was like that, just like really powerful. Never ran out of breath and had this very forward, powerful sound to him. So that, I don't know. That's why I make the connection in my head. I'm not saying that Chris Cornell is any less of a vocalist. He's unbelievable. He's just harder to listen to these days.
Okay. Okay, I'll get back to that. I have to say this really quick. It's Victoria G says, I've literally confused Paul Rodgers for Chuck Norris before. I'm not even joking. Bud Legit 88 says, any thoughts on the Seymour Duncan Jared James Nichols P90 silencer?
I want to try it. I don't have a thought. I think it's a cool idea. It's not going to sound exactly like a P90, I'm sure, because physically it can't, because physics is a thing. But I am very interested to try one. I might have to get one of those from Gibson, one of those guitars. Actually, I'm going to make a note of that.
Curtis Chavez, Dylan, have you experimented with pickup designs that didn't fit any traditionally common pickup routes?
Yes, we have made some really crazy stuff. The very first pickup I ever made that I sold to someone was actually, we were just talking about this the other day. Because we were looking at my binder and it had all the specs for, what's his name?
It was right there on my tongue before you asked me.
Who is
Luther
Dickinson from the Black Crowes and from North Mississippi All-Stars. The very first pickup I ever made that I sold to someone was to him. And it was a cigar box guitar that I had to make a pickup that was only a 1/2 inch tall, and it had to fit in a certain spot, and we had to use a wood grain cap on it. So we had to make our own flat work and make our own bobbin and all this, and it was a really, really fun project to do. And he loved it. It looked like a little outhouse. Had like a little moon cut in it. Like the cigar box looked like a little outhouse with a little outhouse door. It was neat because he's a cigar box guy. So anyway, that was the first pickup I ever did. And then we did some bass pickups that were actually 2 jazz bass pickups with carbon fiber top plates glued onto a base plate that I had to make because there was a gap between them. So we've done some crazy stuff for like really custom guitars that I will never do again. I won't say never, but not until I get a laser.
Yeah, but you can't carry things like that or
No.
say that you make them because
No.
it's not sustainable.
Because they're so one-off. Like,
yeah.
that was really custom stuff. And the problem is that, because people ask me all the time, would you be able to make this custom thing, or can you do this, Yeah, but it will cost you $500. Because...
To get ready and...
To do it, because I have to take away from... I mean, what is there? There's 40 humbucker bobbins sitting right here or whatever that have to get assembled into humbuckers tomorrow and Monday. And if I were to take 2 days off to do that, I got to make up for that time somehow, So I think that's the reason I don't do it. They are fun little projects, though, sometimes.
So Patrick meant Dylan's P90's dog ear in a nickel-plated cover.
I think I can't get nickel right now. I was just looking at that yesterday because Matt asked about something too. I don't think I can. I think we can get black, white, and cream.
Haas says, Daryl Hall for me, the man has soul.
Oh, yeah.
Sunbay says Freddie Mercury had one of the best voices ever. Rick Nelson rewired a guitar, and when clean, there's lots of volume drop turning down the master tone. Not so much distorted. Normal. I only play my own guitars, so I don't know. 500K audio taper 0.047 Duncan Invaders.
So it sounds like you have... what I would do with that is I would Google a wiring diagram for a Fender Telecaster. I know this sounds dumb, but Google a wiring diagram for a Fender Telecaster. And just look at how the volume pot hooks up to the tone pot and what legs of the tone pot the capacitor is hooked to and how the capacitor is grounded. I feel like you have some alternate wiring for your tone cap that is causing that to happen.
Strange little connections happening over here. Dog Boy says, I've seen Luther 3 times and he still plays that box guitar. Cool.
That's cool to know.
Timothy Potter, I build cigar box guitars. What? I have a Cohiba Black Strat and a Cohiba White Telly waiting to go into the works.
Cool.
Anyway, I didn't know he built cigar box guitars.
It's awesome to know that Luther's still playing that thing.
Rusty Shackelford said, could you make a circular pickup?
Yeah, but I won't. There's no real application for it, really.
Oops, sorry. Scrolling and clicking. Thank you for the super chat. Dog Boy, he says, no one had a better voice than Elvis Presley.
So, a few people have brought up a few people. And Elvis made... I wasn't going to say anything, but Elvis made me come out with this. Elvis and Elvis Presley and Daryl Hall are both R&B singers, in my mind.
Fair.
They are very heavily influenced by that era of late 70s. Well, not Elvis, but Daryl Hall was very influenced. When you look at even...
Did you say Elvis was influenced or Elvis stole?
Elvis stole black people music. I mean, honestly, he did. So he, to me, was an R&B singer turned into rock and roll. Hall & Oates, straight R&B. When you listen, even their later records, like when you listen to Private Eyes, like in 1984, 82, I mean, that stuff's just R&B. So that doesn't, and same thing with Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury, Queen to me was never really a rock band. They were in my opinion, there was this transition from R&B through disco and rock, and they sort of mixed it all together. I almost look at them as like to me they're like too thematic. They were like the Dream Theater of the 70s. Like they were a very thematic band, but they were not a rock and roll band. Where Bad Company's rock and roll band. Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators is a rock and roll band. And their voices are rock and roll voices. Freddie Mercury does not have a rock and roll voice. He has I don't know what it is. It was amazing. But it wasn't a rock and roll voice. Same thing with Daryl Hall. Same thing with Elvis Presley. I mean, if we're really getting super nuanced, and of course...
we're just talking about good singers. Why does it matter what category?
No, I'm just saying that's why they didn't come into my mind. That's why I'm just giving you my thought process on how I got to that. But they're all amazing. Elvis being the least amazing to me. Whoa, it's after 9, yo.
The Guitar Hangout says, Dylan, I love your channel, but I cringe every time you pick up your guitars with all your jewelry on.
Yep. I do it on purpose now.
All right, well, let's finish up because...
you got a couple more in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bud Legit 88 says, how much do capacitors affect tone? Somebody right under him said, we need that capacitance video.
Yep, it's coming.
Rick Nelson said, oh, dude, I wired my tone cap to 2 wires so I can play with swapping them out. You nailed it.
Okay, good.
Let's see. Wireless, Angel Raven 444, wireless pickups. You download an AAP, maybe he means an app, and your guitar that is wireless by design can sound like anything. Is this even possible, or am I a little lit?
I think it's coming.
All right.
Cool. It is 9 o'clock. Now I used more strategery this week. So if you look right here, there's the after hours thing that we stick up. And then there is a question below it. So I forgot to tell you about that before, but to stay a little more organized with the before and after stuff. Every Thursday night, for those of you that are new to the channel, we go off topic after 9 o'clock. We went a little long tonight because there was a lot of questions. So thank you everybody for supporting that part of it. Just to hang out with you, get to know y'all, since we can't meet you all in person. We've met a bunch of you in person. We hang out on a Zoom hangout for Patreon the fourth Monday of every month. So that's even more in person than this. But we try to hang out with you just as friends, getting to know each other, this kind of thing. I think it's really important to do that, to build community. And, we're just all a bunch of guitar friends and whatever. So after 9 o'clock, it's off topic only. No guitar questions allowed. Unless they're a super chat. You can ask a guitar question in a super chat only. If you do not ask it in a super chat after 9 o'clock, we will not answer it. So this is off-topic questions only. If you are a Patreon member or a YouTube member, you can ask off-topic questions there too. And we do have one of those from Ivan.
Okay, let's ask it. Will it go on top of it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Ivan, off topic. If a star gets kicked out of a galaxy due to some interaction with a supermassive black hole, insert muse, Would you think the planets orbiting the star, if any, would go along for the ride? Do we think they can think now, or?
Okay, so I'm no astronomer, but I would think that since the gravity of each star holds the planets in its orbits, if you threw the star, the planets would either fall out of the orbits and fall into space or not go anywhere, or they would get sucked into the star and burn up, or something like that. But that would be my guess.
Any opinions from the audience? Charles Wallace said that was still the best road day trip I have taken. Thanks.
Thanks,
There's
Charles.
also been a lot of comments. This is not guitar related, so I think it could continue if Dog Boy says yes, it would. A lot of conversation about how Elvis was poor. That's where he grew up. Like, that's what he knew. All of that is true.
Mm-hmm.
But white privilege.
It's documented pretty well that his music, through he and his producers and the people that there's a lot of stealing going on. Led Zeppelin did it too.
Right.
Yeah. I understand it because I understand how it could happen in that time period.
Right.
I do get it.
It was a strange time in history,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah. And I think people forget that like, people say there's no good music anymore or whatever. And things are a certain way in history because they happened when they happened in history. Like, none of that stuff is very old when you look at how old the world is. Like, we're only talking, one person lifetime.
Where did it go? Oh.
I was alive when Elvis was alive.
Carson Hess. This is good.
Hey, Carson Hess, long time no comment section.
I don't know who that is. On a scale of 9 to 10, how good was Nickelback? 9 to 10. I love that.
Vocals 9, guitar tone 10. They had huge guitar tone. I really like their sound. I think they fell into that category of...
Super chat. Super chat from James Dean Anderson. She says, Etta was better than Elvis, but watch the Orion documentary.
Orion?
Orion?
Okay.
What is that?
I'm asking. Is that how you say it?
I mean, if it's a constellation, I don't know otherwise.
Okay.
I didn't read it as a constellation. But
I agree with you on the Etta deal. Thank you for the super chat.
yeah, we will look that up. And I don't know which pronunciation was correct. Probably his.
Etta James.
Okay, and then we had a comment earlier. I didn't read it because it's...
Was a little more off topic.
Yeah, but it's funny. Not funny? Funny, not funny. Patrick Hardy says, I love Louisiana, Texas Creoles and Cajun ladies, a.k.a. women. I stopped dating them in my 20s. Why? I find each one of them was all family members down the line.
Oh my God.
That's the danger of a small community.
That
right?
is the danger of, yeah. Yes.
I mean...
You should ask Leslie about her Ancestry.com journey.
Oof, it's a hot one.
But you know what? I'm Native American. I bet mine's worse.
Yeah.
Because it's small communities. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. When it comes to the possibility of being related to somebody, yeah. I'm sure that that's how it happened.
What else is going on with people? What else is going on with you?
I got a root canal yesterday.
Woo.
The first half of it. He's actually splitting it up into 2 halves. He's gonna
Not the tooth, just the procedure.
just the procedure. They drilled it all out yesterday and then put like a filling in the top of it and put some medication in there because I was still having some infection happening, which actually it's still there a little bit, but it feels a lot better today than it did yesterday. So maybe that's happening.
Aww.
What?
Haas says my parents are from opposite sides of the country and I still look inbred.
Is that
What is the click noise? What's the click noise, Dylan? That's distracting everyone.
Oh, probably my knife in my pocket or my hand because that's what I do when I'm.
Yeah.
This
And
is-
what's the story?
What do you mean? Oh, the story. So last week, somebody unsubscribed and left me like a nasty comment because they noticed it a bunch of times that I flick my knife at Leslie during live streams, and they did not appreciate that. And
I'm
I'm
not worried about what my feelings were, but
Yeah.
theirs were more important.
Yeah. So apparently, I don't know if I'm threatening you or
I feel very threatened.
Do you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, what? Okay. Yeah.
It's Victoria G says, I'm sorry about your infection. I hope your part 2 goes well. When I needed a root canal, it was the worst pain of my life. I was excited to get the root canal done.
When we were in Colorado, I didn't say anything about it, but when we were in Colorado,
Doc just showed up, by the way.
oh,
so-
did he? Doc, I got the first part of my root canal done yesterday. When we were in Colorado last time, in fact, Doc was there, wasn't he?
Yes, because he was mad that you didn't talk to him. Like, why didn't you mention it or talk to him about it? He was there.
No,
yeah.
that was in May. We went again in August. So when we were in August, was he there in August?
No. Which one was it?
He was there in May for the guitar contest.
Yeah. So you've been having this since before May.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, probably. I don't know. Anyway, when I was there in August, when I was in Denver in August, there was a couple of days where my jaw was like completely swollen.
Yeah, but that wasn't the time Doc was there.
No, that wasn't the time
Yeah.
Doc was there.
That's how long you've put all this
Oh,
off.
yeah. This has been, not put it off. I just didn't know what it was. And then I was like, oh, this is probably a tooth thing. So then it turned into this whole thing. So I had to go get a bunch of periodontal stuff done. So I got all that done. And I feel, my mouth feels great. Like it's all clean. Everything's awesome. Except for I'm still having this one spot that's infected. And so I went in yesterday or earlier this week. And sure enough, they did actually finally find a crack in that tooth. So anyway, they drilled it all out, cleaned it all up, put a bunch of medication in the tooth, I guess, and then put some stuff on top of it. And I'm going to go back in like 6 weeks or whatever, and they're going to fix it the rest of the way back up. It already feels awesome. And it didn't hurt.
Oh, he was there in August. So maybe you're exaggerating how long you've been in pain.
It's been all summer. It's been all summer. Yeah, no, I've been in pain all summer.
August was the strap build after the contest. So maybe you've been in pain since August.
Yes. During the strap build, when I was there with... When was David Robinson there? That was August.
That was the last one.
So that when David Robinson was there,
No. That wasn't August.
September.
Did we go back to back?
Whenever David Robinson was there,
Yeah, but
my
Doc
mouth
wasn't there
was
then.
swollen up, man. Like my jaw was like, oh, it was bad.
We can't even remember where we go when.
Oh man.
October. August? Oh, we went in August.
Yeah. We went in May, August, and October.
So it's been August.
Yeah, since August is when it's really
And then we
gone.
went again in October.
Right.
So October is when David Robinson was there.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that was the last one. Oh, yeah, because October was the weird month of
Crazy
Vegas.
stuff. Vegas
Yeah.
and yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I think I grabbed stuff. All right. I apologize. Super behind. Super chat from Dog Boy. Thank you for the super chat. He says, our universe is being pulled towards an area 280 million light years away called the Great Attractor. And the Great Attractor is being pulled by gravity.
Fortunately, I won't have to worry about that.
That is wild. I mean, one, who can think in
That
light
size.
years, much less
Yeah.
280 million light
Yeah,
years.
that size of
Space is
any-
fascinating.
It's also big.
It's big.
Space is big.
Timothy Potter. Oh, just kidding. I'll come back. James Dean Anderson sent a super chat. Thank you for the super chat, James. He says, are you going to say Orion?
Sure.
Turns out a tone exact Elvis impersonator may have had the same dad from an army posting, and he looked just like the dad. Exact same tone. That is wild.
That
now
is
I want to
wild.
see it.
Yeah,
I mean, not that I didn't want to see it before because you recommended it, but that definitely.
that's interesting.
Definitely sounds. Dude,
Sorry.
don't get antsy.
I know.
We've been doing this for over an hour now. I got this.
We've been doing this for 5 years.
I know. So why you stepping in my territory?
I got you.
No, you don't. I got you.
Oh my
Let's
God.
see. Timothy Potter. I got my first branded fixed blade today. A Civivi Kepler fixed blade. Love it so far. My other two were forged and made for me by my dad. He did an excellent job.
Cool.
I mean, every time Timothy Potter talks, I'm like, why haven't we gone to see him yet?
I know. I want to look at what that Kepler is, because...
Haas says, it's a little weird, but you do you, Dylan Dundee. That's funny. Flicking your knife. You're not even listening.
I am listening.
Patrick Hardy says,
Oh, that's a cool knife.
maybe early next year, I might mail you an ancient stone prey stick from the Southwest Pueblo culture and a kachina. I don't know what a kachina is.
Yeah. If you didn't, that would be cool. Not to not be grateful for your gift. However, there are certain things, because of knowing stuff about, I'm just going to say it like this, because of knowing stuff about Native American culture, there's certain things that I don't keep around my house. And a kachina is one of them. So, yeah, I don't really have those around. Yeah. But thank you for the offer, because that's very cool that you would offer to do that. But that's something I would not appreciate personally.
Super chat from Van Shank Guitars. He said, and that's when the fight started.
Probably when me and you were talking about who was going to use the computer.
Yeah. I mean, we know who was better on a computer. There's really
Duh.
no fight.
Oh my gosh, for sure. Yeah, she constantly saves my butt with computer stuff.
All right. Let me catch back up. Doc is docking in the comments here.
Talking all about root canals and
Well,
whatnot.
he's trying to, yeah, somebody's like,
Hey, my tooth
I
hurts.
hate dentists. Dentists are BS. And he's like, can you talk to me? Like, everybody hates the dentist until they're in pain. I can attest to that.
Yep.
And now I'm like, I'm going to have a relationship with my hygienist.
And you know what else? You have to go to a good one.
Oh, all the difference.
You have to go to a good one. This endodontist that I went to yesterday, the best. So
The
mine.
best. You have zero comparison.
So here's the thing. I have zero experience. Yesterday's root canal was the first filling or work of any kind that I've ever had done in my life, except for the periodontist stuff I had a couple weeks ago. But as far as drilling and like, fillings or anything like that, I've never had anything. I don't have any cavities in my mouth at all. And so I kind of didn't know what to expect, but I know it was a good experience because when I went in there, there was like, I never felt a thing. Like, it wasn't like no pain at all, no discomfort at all. And the way they worked was just like seamless. Like the assistant and him were like, boom, 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 boom. Like stuff was just getting done. And we waited on the numbing to happen probably longer than it took to actually do the thing. It was like a machine. They were like amazing. Yeah.
Rick Nelson, thank you for the super chat. Rick said he's modifying his gear. Is it in poor taste to remove the headstock logo? Part of me wants to show how cool they can be, but if it doesn't survive the work.
That's up to you. I'm not a big headstock logo nerd, so I don't know that I would care. Unless it was an expensive guitar where it actually mattered. You know what I mean? But if you're making something, do it. Yeah.
Yeah, Doc just said, glad to hear it was pain-free. Experience is everything. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why I said I didn't like the dentist. Because I had, like, very traumatic childhood dentist. Very traumatic first time I ever had to have a root canal. Like,
yeah.
And the only experience I had that was good couldn't be replicated because it was actually with a dental student.
Mm.
But before I found the dentist I'm going to now, I literally considered driving 5 hours because I found his practice. And I was like, I'm going to go see him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like.
Because you really, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been under the knife so many times because of surgeries and the stuff that I've had that I have I'm pretty self-aware when it comes to like knowing. I know good patient care when I see it and bad patient care when I see it. So even if I've never had a root canal before, like as soon as I walked, even yesterday, like you walk in there. Number one, okay, when you go to the doctor, you should maybe never in 2023 have to fill out paperwork.
Amen.
Like, if it's a good doctor of any kind, I don't care, they should be texting you a link to something, and you should be filling that junk out before you even go. So the last time I went to the doctor, I was so pissed because I filled out a whole bunch of stuff before. I got there and they gave me a hard copy to do the exact same thing again. And I was like, this is stupid. And then I had to go back like 2 weeks later and they gave me another piece of paper and I had to fill it out again. And I'm like, this is dumb. So I went to the endodontist yesterday. Earlier in the week to get the evaluation.
Yep.
Never been there. She's like, you've never been here before, huh? Oh, first of all, I walk in the door and she's like, oh, are you Dylan here for the such and such appointment? Doesn't know me. I'm like, yes, I am. She's like, you've never been here before. I was like, no. She's like, hit a button, pulls the records from wherever the referral came from. Okay, sounds good. Got you checked in. See you in a minute. And that was it. No paperwork. Like, I should not have to put... And I think for me, it's annoying because have you ever had any surgeries? Have you ever had any health problems? And I like have this whole friggin' report I have to write every
You know
time.
what's funny? So, nerdy work moment here. They just released new accessibility standards that say you cannot make people repeat the same information.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And we were all laughing about it like, oh... maybe now we'll finally not have to like attach your resume and then answer all these questions that are on your resume.
Right.
Like, applying for a job is brutal, too.
I wonder what that means.
Features. And it is also bad if websites don't let your autofill populate that you have saved in your browser.
Oh, I hate it when they don't.
Yeah. It's a violation.
Is it?
Yes. All right.
Good to know. There are certain knife companies that I will not shop from because I go there and I'm like, I have to fill this crap out. So I just order it from somewhere else.
Yep. Yeah.
We should make sure mine does. I'm pretty sure it does, but we should make sure it does.
Yours probably needs a lot of check. Oh, Doc said in certain jurisdiction it's not allowed for you to fill out your medical history, etc. online. Must be a hard copy. Regulatory bodies are not up to date on use of paperless input of info. Yeah, neither are car dealerships.
Yeah.
Or houses, probably. We just buy a lot more houses. I mean, cars
than houses, yeah.
All right. Curtis Chavez says, I have a broken last molar on the left side of my mouth. I've been screwing around with it so much with my tongue that my tongue hurts worse than my tooth. Ugh, that does sound brutal.
I would rather fill out a hard copy to buy a gun than do the digital one at Bass Pro Shops, though.
Okay. That was really random.
I was thinking about paper versus digital. And that stupid thing they have with the touchscreen thing they have at Bass Pro Shops is so annoying. And I can do the paper thing like really fast because it's like, and then just be done.
So tell me you're old without telling me you're old.
Well, and I don't have to have a background check anymore because I have the thing. But
that's nothing to do with hard copy versus digital, though. You will never hear me say, I want paper, please.
Okay, so if they have a better computer, maybe it's
You're
just
saying
the
they have
computer
crappy
sucks.
tablets.
Yes, the computer sucks, so maybe that's why.
Because Academy wasn't bad. That's the only one I've ever done, though.
No, that's true. Academy wasn't bad.
Anyway, Haas says, as a hacker, I prefer online. That's funny. Doc Siltonen said, did you see the trailer for the coming movie on the 1983 season Lancia? Is that a word? 037 BS Audi Quattro.
Yes, so I did not, but who sent me that? One of you.
Was it Doc?
Nope. It might have been Tony Leonardi, and I don't know that he's here.
He wasn't here tonight, I don't think.
I think Tony Leonardi sent me that in a Facebook message. He's like, dude, did you see the trailer for this yet? And I was like, no. And what's the other thing we were just talking about? Oh, the Enzo Ferrari story.
Yep.
Too.
Oh, you want to hear the second part of Doc's paperless?
Yeah.
Then we scan it in to digitize it and shred the hard copy. Ridiculous.
Yep.
That's funny.
And meanwhile, I'm over here having to try to drink through a paper straw that collapses.
What does that have to do with anything?
The environment.
Okay.
I mean, they're trashing the environment when they could just plug something into the computer. Meanwhile, I can't use a plastic straw. I'm just saying.
Okay. You're funny. What else? Do we have anything coming up or that we did in the last week? I don't think so.
Not really. We've been working.
We've been boring.
We've been pretty boring, yeah. We have, there's 1, 2, 3 more sets of pickups to go out, 10th anniversary pickups to go out. And then there's a whole tray full of bobbins over there that needs to get built. I've been playing a lot of guitar.
Yes, he has.
I've been playing a lot of guitar because this Martin is just unbelievable. But it's also making me play a lot of the other ones too. I kind of rotated and put some in the closet and took some other ones out and did that stuff.
James Dean Anderson said, paper straws are killing the planet. Also, I flew private to Davos, I don't know, to tell you that, peasant.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
What were we? A balloon release. I'm like, why are we
yeah.
still releasing balloons and we can't have straws? Like,
Yep.
so stupid.
Yep.
Your balloon is going nowhere.
Yep.
Set in the ocean.
That's right.
So dumb. My dress shoes are made from recycled plastic. Did you know that?
Your dress shoes?
Yeah, the ones that I can throw in the washer.
My new dress shoes are made from a recycled python.
You can't throw those in the washer.
No, I cannot. I did get a new pair of boots this week. Yep.
Ew. Quicksilver says, I can't remember the name of the movie where some lady falls on 2 steel straws and brains herself.
Ugh.
Gnarly.
That's nasty.
So I have a different one now. Like, I used to just have a steel straw. Now I have a steel straw with, like, silicone on the part that goes in your mouth because I used to be so nervous. Like, I don't want to, like, knock my tooth out or something. And when it's really cold, like, we drink smoothies, and I'm like, are my lips going to freeze to this straw? So I like it with the silicone on it. That sounds terrible, though. Doug Silton said, prototyping my first set of ceramic humbucker pickups for a thrash metal guitarist from LA for an upcoming Flying V build.
Sweet.
Oh, not guitar related. Mostly, this is what I'm up to this week. That's what he said.
Gotcha. No, we have been really busy. We got like all kind of stuff going, and that's really it.
We rearranged the coffee bar.
We did do that, and I actually, I am working on a list of videos for the other channel that I'm going to start working through probably next week. Because people, I think Vinny's not here tonight, but maybe he is.
I think he was here earlier.
Was he here earlier?
Yeah.
He asked me about my coffee setup, and somebody today asked me about my coffee setup, so we're going to do a video about that on the other channel. We still need to do desk tours for you and for me because people have been asking about your Zoom setup. A few people have asked me about your Zoom setup because she has a really killer work from home setup, if that makes sense.
I like it.
Yeah. So.
Haas says, I can't remember the last time I used a straw. Might have been the 90s. Wow. I like straws. I got a really fancy drink with a silly straw in Vegas. It was weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The one that came in like the skull glass.
Oh, yeah. So
skull glass, fancy drink, silly straw. I was like, this doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah. $22.
I don't know how much it was. I didn't buy it.
With a silly straw.
I wasn't buying it.
That's funny. Well.
Oh, Curtis Chavez says, mushroom coffee, yay or nay? We haven't tried it.
Yes, we have.
What have you tried?
Laird Hamilton.
It's mushrooms?
Yeah.
But there's coffee in it. Is that mushrooms? Are you sure?
Yeah. It's,
That's good, though.
Yeah. Laird Hamilton coffee is mushroom. It's, what are the mushrooms that are in it? Somebody will know. I like it. There are some, I have tried other mushroom coffees that are not any good. And I like beans, so it's hard for me to drink stuff that isn't beans. I can't remember the name of the mushroom.
It's starting to get cold here, so I drink a lot of tea.
Yeah, you're drinking tea. I fired up the espresso machine for the first time in a couple weeks the other day. And that made me go like, you know what, I need to use this thing more.
I would drink coffee at night. Decaf, but
Decaf.
I would drink coffee.
I think I might start using the espresso machine more in the afternoon.
Oh, Benny's World said, yes, back now, was just driving.
Oh, okay, cool.
Paul McNary said magic mushroom coffee. I would buy that.
It's, Laird Hamilton coffee is...
Because why wouldn't you want to pre-program all your trauma? Like, I don't understand.
Makes sense to me.
Like, let us do it.
Let's see. I got the orange bag before.
Doc Siltonen said chaga tea. I don't think I know what chaga is. So I'm going to go with no. I currently have a selection of peach and honey black tea, a chai tea, peppermint, chamomile. My absolute favorite is cinnamon, apple cinnamon. I have some cinnamon rooibos tea.
Guess what? This coffee has in it. Chaga.
Oh, mushroom. Okay, so chaga mushrooms.
Mm-hmm. Lion's mane. That's what I was trying to think of.
Okay.
It has cordyceps, lion's mane, and chaga.
Yeah,
and lion's mane is the one I was trying to think of.
I've not had mushroom tea. If you know a chaga tea that's good, I would try it. You should send it to me, Doc.
He's got a
Timothy
pretty
Potter
good...
said, I love my French press and the cheap electric percolator with the basket and the bubble window on the top. I have a bunch of tea stuff in a wish list.
When I was a kid, you have a bunch of in the Amazon wish list?
Yes. For tea.
I think that's below. Link below.
Oh. I was trying to tell you about it, not them.
Oh.
Sorry.
When I was a kid, my parents used that percolator, like this old stainless percolator with the little clear ball, and you could watch the handle of it was the clear glass, and you could see the coffee coming up into it when it was being made. That was what we had when I was a kid. And then, you have a French press too. I don't have a French press right now. That's the only thing I don't have. But I don't use them very often because...
when I was a kid, my mom didn't even have a coffee maker. She had... Instant coffee, and she microwaved the water.
Yep.
The cheapest way to make coffee.
But that was the thing, man.
Yeah.
What was the coffee? There was Sanka, and there was...
She was Folgers, 100%.
Folgers, yeah. Because there was the one with the flavor crystals.
Folgers.
Was that it?
Yeah.
And then, there was all that stuff. I remember all of that. That was a real 80s thing. Instant coffee and tab soda was I remember that when I was a kid. Everybody
Holy
had it.
smokes. James Dean Anderson said, I switched from Dr. Pepper to mango flavored iced tea and lost 70 pounds in a year. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I'm not drinking any soda. That's, yeah.
I don't drink anything mango. I don't eat or drink anything mango.
No.
It's not that it tastes bad. There's some... It must be how cilantro can be for people. It has the worst aftertaste to me. So I can't enjoy it. It's not the flavor. It's the aftertaste that is my body is no. Similar to rosemary, actually.
Rosemary,
I don't like
too.
rosemary either. Taster's Choice. That was another one.
Yeah, Taster's Choice. That's right. I remember all those commercials and the instant
Vinny's
coffee.
World said, I would love to see more content on your other channel, too.
Yeah, I need to do some more stuff over there. I did an every knife in my collection video. It took 20 minutes.
So how many do you have?
I don't know. I didn't count them. Somebody asked me that, because we premiered it, and they were like, I lost count. How many do you have? And I'm like, I don't know. And I have more since then, so.
Oh, Bud Legit 88 is rude.
What?
He said, just started following you on Insta. Looks like you appreciate high quality firearms. Just picked up a Staccato XC. You need one. Yes, please. What's the fancy thing at the store right now? The rose gold that I'm they're holding it for me. This is $6,500.
Oh, the yeah. Good grief.
I can't help you. I'm literally
what's
asking
the
you a
baddest
question.
1911 ever? Yeah. Anyway.
It's beautiful.
Nighthawk.
Custom.
Yeah, Nighthawk Customs, the super custom It's $6,500.
Man, people don't like. Why are you here after hours if you don't like what we're talking about? Like, why are you here? The thumbs down are just like boom, boom. Why? Why are you here?
Don't know. It's pretty clear that it says after hours, off topic, after 9 p.m. That's why we put that on the screen.
Denny's World said, I haven't even had a microwave for over 15 years. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I rarely use the microwave except for nachos. But I could still do without.
Yeah, you would prefer to have them not in the microwave, but you just get...
I get impatient.
In a hurry.
Yeah. I'd rather make them... So we got one of those Ninja convection ovens that does convection and bake and air fry and air roast and a whole bunch of other stuff. And that thing is amazing, and we use that for 90% of everything. We moved into this apartment when we came off the road, and the oven didn't work, so we bought that thing, and we've never even used our oven.
Yeah, I tried to use it one time, and I was like, it doesn't work. But we had just looked at those things, and I was like, I can't justify. It's going to take up so much room. We don't really need it. Do we even want it? And I went to make something, and the oven didn't work, and I was like, okay, screw this. I would rather have... Plus... Like, why would you heat up something this big if you could heat up something this big?
Exactly.
Like,
not to mention, it heats up in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's really
It's
nice.
super cool, yeah. And it doesn't heat the whole house up either.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Doc Stilton had said some people just don't like mushrooms. So it's not us, he's saying they don't like mushrooms. I'm sure that's it.
I just figure they want to use me for guitar stuff for free and actually not be friends, which is dumb. It's whatever.
It's not dumb, but like... Say goodnight.
Yeah.
Anthel and one hell. I don't know. Favorite handgun.
Probably the one I don't have, which is the Staccato XC. Favorite handgun.
There are just some things they should never let you touch. So you don't know it exists.
She's saying this for her, not for me. We went to the knife show.
Knife show.
We went to the knife show.
Staccato was there.
Yes. And she picked up an XC and went, chuk, chuk, and she's like, I have to put this back down now. Literally, she did that. She's like, okay, now I'm ruined for life. Yeah, I don't know. I don't buy them for the same reason everybody else buys them. I just think they're really neat, and so I like the cool factor of them. So I kind of have some weirdly bougie guns.
It doesn't mean you can't have a favorite. They're asking what your favorite is, not what's the best. What's your favorite?
What is my favorite? Well, my new hotness is I just bought a CZ Shadow 2, and that thing is bonkers to shoot. It's so much fun. I really like my Shadow systems, my MR920. I really like that gun. Probably, I have a SIG P365 Spectre comp too, but I really like my Shadow systems a lot. And I didn't think I was going to because I hate Glocks. But that gun is so different than a Glock that I really like that. I like it.
James Dean Anderson said a Nighthawk Sandhawk is about $4,500, but it's so you picked the wrong house.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah. I like it. I think it's neat. I think the engineering and the stuff that goes into it. We got a bunch of stuff, but and I have a really neat AR too that I really love to shoot, but I don't get to shoot it that much because our range is not cool for long range.
But Legit 88 said, that's exactly how I got hooked. I went in looking for a Dan Wesson DWX and left with the XC. The slide is butter.
So let me tell you what happened. Okay, I'm just going to have to buy one of them. So here's the thing. I have been trying to find an excuse to not buy one of those because I want one real bad, and she wants one too. And so...
Don't blame it on me. I am content.
Whatever. If you had it, you would want to shoot it. I am sure of that.
That would be true also. But I have never said, please buy this. or I want to buy this, or you should buy
That's
this.
that's true too. That's true. You have not. But I went in there because I went into this local gun store because I really wanted. They don't have staccato, but I was just like, what do they have in bougie 1911s or double stacked 1911s? And I almost bought the Springfield, and I'm like, this thing is junk. It's just junk. It's cool, and if you have one, that's cool. They're really neat, but they're just not. When I pick up a 1911, I want that slide to just be like, and like I want it to be like that. And that gun's just not like that. And so when we're in there, the guy's like, you really need a CZ Shadow 2. And I'm like, I know, but I would rather have a 2011. And he's like, yeah, but you really need a CZ Shadow 2. And he's like, do you want to feel the best trigger in the entire store? And I'm like, yes, I do. And he put the gun in my hand, and I was like, okay, I'll buy it. So I bought a CZ Shadow 2 that day, which just kind of puts me further off of my goal because, every time you buy a gun, it costs money. So, but yeah, I will have an XC someday. Yeah.
Rick Nelson said, well, I dig hanging out with you two. You've really made a difference in my life. I've got a lot to say, but I don't want to dominate the chat.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
That's really nice. I do like hearing stories of, like, why you like being here, though. You don't have to do it here, but...
Yeah, you can do it in an email later. You can do whatever. That's fine. Because we do get those from time to time. Like, I didn't want to say this in the chat, but...
Yeah.
Because, it's funny because, like, I have to sell pickups to live. But these videos and the community that we build, like, this Thursday thing, I say it all the time, but this Thursday thing is the thing that I think keeps us going. And it's because we make friends with people and we get to hang out and
you get to learn things you didn't want to know about us. And
yeah. And I think, and I don't feel bad for the people that are like, I thought this was about guitars, and they leave. I don't feel bad for them because they, whatever they're being, however they want to be. They're probably still here watching, though.
Be how you want to be.
Because that's what happens.
Be all you can be.
Right. No, I love it, man. I think it's great. Yep. And while I wouldn't personally take credit for being a positive in your life, I would definitely say thank you for being part of the community, and I'm glad that everyone here we are all doing that. So we are not your average Facebook comment section. Anything. We're not your average anything.
Anything, yeah. Once you think you have us figured out, you're probably wrong.
It's true. Yeah.
Because I think we probably daily say, we're probably just crazy. Are we just crazy?
I think we're just crazy. Is it just us? Yeah, it's just us. Yeah.
It's okay.
That's all right. It's cool. It works. It's fun.
James Dean Anderson said, this chat room feels like my favorite cigar lounge. It's surprisingly similar. I love that. If you just feel like you can hang out and be cool. And
I dig that.
I wish it smelled like a cigar shop in here. That would be nice. I like the way that smells.
I have an idea.
Shop.
We're working on getting a house here pretty quick. And I have an idea, if everything works out the way I want it to. I don't smoke, but I want to have, like, the studio, like, where we do demos and do videos, to not be like this. I want it to be like a smoking room, like a smoking lounge, like classier, maybe a little darker, maybe a little, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but I want it to be cool.
Paul McNary said batshit crazy is just fine. I mean, I've never gone that far, but, to each his own opinion. Maybe you think that about us. Jim Cox said my STIs are old. Like,
yeah, STI is what staccato used to be before.
Oh. So STD is not the word anymore. It's STI. And
That's
I'm like,
why they changed it.
Oh.
So
I'm like, why is he
I don't.
telling us his STIs are?
I don't know if 100% that's the real reason, but like the lore is that's why they changed it to staccato.
That's funny.
So he says he has STIs because he has pre-staccato.
Gotcha. I was like,
Yeah.
This is not that kind of chat.
Yeah, and in fact, they before the 2011s even came out, before the staccato P came out, and the staccato C2, I think, they were just a regular single stack 1911. Yeah, so he probably has some
cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sorry, not sorry. It's late.
It is
I
late.
get delirious when I'm tired.
Oh yeah, it is late. Maybe we'll wrap this up. I'm gonna make a video tomorrow, so.
I'm gonna work.
Well, that is my work. I guess we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks a lot for hanging out, everybody. This has been fun.
It was fun. Good night. He has an STI Eagle 2011.
Oh, yeah.